friends, Amy here. This episode is part of our last episode, Layers of People, that I removed for time. Also, selfishly, I needed a week off as, since you know, I am moving my mother to a new place. She's now in, she's happy, and we both survived. Now the unpacking begins. Please send good Zen. For now, we hope you enjoy this discussion of the murder of Gina Hall. Please keep in mind, as Megan said, she investigated for only a short time and so did I. We weren't planning on doing a murder follow-up, but once we both started digging, and we didn't start that until recording day, we uncovered some good stuff that we wanted to share with you. That said, this is not going to be a complete story. If you're already familiar with this case and you want all the details, we suggest you check out other sources. This is just some additional stuff not mentioned in the Dead Files episode. Check the show notes for links to other shows and books that cover this story in a more in-depth way. Also, apologies to Gina's sister, Delana. I think we pronounced it Delana, but after watching the Evil Lives Here episode, we know it's pronounced Delana. Stick around to the end to hear our debate on French fries and hamburger choices and what we have planned for next week. See you then.
So now we go to the murder, and I didn't find a ton on it. Amy, you had said that you had found more.
I found some stuff, yeah.
Okay.
The way that I went about it is I was looking at...
Oh, so you did like a timeline.
Yeah, I was going through newspapers.com.
Mm-hmm.
So I just searched for her name in 1980. And so then I just put this together based on what I found in the newspaper. So most of what I have is stuff about that night, that evening, and the timeline of that evening, and then a little bit, just a tiny bit about the trial. But you have stuff that's more recent.
Well, yeah, so I have that, and then I also just have a little bit about Gina. A little bit about the murder, but not, and evidence against Stephen. But you probably have that in yours.
I have some of it. Do you want to talk about what Gina was like, and then I'll talk about the murder?
So basically, she was a freshman at the Radford University. She lived with her sister, Delana. Her sister, Delana, was also a student at Radford University, but her sister was in grad school, and Gina was a freshman, and they were both enrolled in summer classes. And so exams were on June 20th. It looks like final exams, so it looks like she had just finished her exams.
Mm-hmm.
She said she was a very happy person, athletic, very respectful towards her family. Obviously, she was close with her family. She lived with her sister. And yeah, just a really kind of, I think it was in the show, the lieutenant showed a picture of her and said she was everybody's daughter. And she really was, you know? Mm-hmm. So, yeah, then we have Stephen Epperly, who to this day maintains his innocence. His most recent parole hearing in 2020 was denied. He's still alive. As of my research last night, he is still alive. And he had, in the show, they talked about how he had 2 previous rapes, like I said, but I couldn't find anything on them. I know you had said that one was acquitted.
Yeah. All I found on them was that one of them was, he was acquitted. There was a trial and he was acquitted. And the other one was dismissed for insufficient evidence. So he never
served time, but he 100% did them. If he did this to Gina, he's done it before.
Oh, sure. Sure.
So, so do you want to talk about the murder then?
Yeah, so what I found, and now this, I just I realized just before we went on the air, if you want to call it that, I found out that Crime Junkie did an episode on this, so I'm sure that's going to be more thorough than the stuff I found.
And also, Evil Lives Here did an episode too.
Right. I really should watch that. So what I found from the newspapers is that on June 28th, that was a Saturday night, she went out dancing, and she went to the Marriott Inn Bar and Disco, and she went alone, which is unusual for her. She would often go with her sister or with her friends. In fact, they said that in one article that one time she went out thinking her friends were going to be there. Her friends weren't there. She went home, got her sister, and went back. So it was weird for her to be there by herself.
And I wondered if maybe she did because she was just so excited to be done with school. She just wanted to celebrate.
Maybe. Yeah. It's too bad nobody would go with her. I bet
they're guilt.
Whoever she asked and they didn't want to go, I bet they feel bad.
You can't know.
No, you can't know. No, there's no way.
It's bullshit that she even had to. Anyways, it's fine. I'm fine. We're fine. It's all fine.
Yeah. We're fine. So at this disco, she met Stephen Epperly. He was there with his friend Bill King, and Stephen asked Bill for the keys to Bill's parents' lake house, and that's where he took Gina, and it was on Claytor Lake. So one thing I found interesting is that the friend's name is William C. King Jr., and the man who brought the property that the Dead Files is talking about, his name is John C. King. I don't know if they're related, but could be. But anyway, so Bill went to a friend's house after he left the disco, and Stephen and Gina went off to the lake house. Bill went to a friend's house for a few hours, and then he picked up his girlfriend, whose name is Robin Robinson, and he asked her to go swimming at the lake. So they show up at the lake. Oh, first of all, Gina called her sister at about 1:30 a.m., so that's technically Sunday the 29th, saying that she was at this lake house on Claytor Lake with a man she had met at the Marriott, and the sister said she seemed scared and nervous. There was an article in the paper about how they were looking for the man who she was with that night, and it said the man who this is from the newspaper. The man who was with Gina Hall last Saturday night has come forward. He reportedly told police that she dropped him off at the house on Claytor Lake at 4 a.m. last Sunday. So why would she be dropping him off at that house?
Because in the articles that I read, they had taken her car. She had driven. So, but why would she be dropping him off? They would already be there.
Yeah. Well, then there was an article right after that, the next day, that said, Hall is her dad, said the man his daughter met had come forward to tell police he gave Gina Hall a ride home at 4 a.m.
So already the story's changing.
So it doesn't, those two
they're completely contradictory.
And then I find out later that the man is
Steve
Epperly.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, maybe there's a different guy there. There was two guys, and, she went out with this guy, and he went home, and then someone else killed her. But anyway, so during the trial, Bill King testified that he was with Stephen the night he met Gina. He said Stephen was drinking pineapple juice and Bill started to say something about what happens to Stephen when he drinks alcohol, but he was cut off by the defense lawyers. Yeah. So Bill King arrived at the lake house with Robin at about 4 a.m., but only Epperly was there. Bill and Robin were both down by the lake. But then I saw a later article that states that Robin saw Stephen coming up from the basement and he was wiping his shoulders off with a blue towel. That towel was later found with Gina's blood on it.
Yeah. Typo. Yep. And they also said various items like towels and cleaning supplies were missing from the lake house. And they also found evidence of cleanup with blood stains found both inside and outside the house.
Yeah.
So something definitely happened at that house.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
So I guess Stephen left about 15 or 20 minutes after Bill and Robin got there. Bill and Robin went into the basement where Bill stepped on a wet spot, which turned out to be Gina's blood.
Gross.
And this was a really important part of the testimony because, and like you said, it was type O blood. They were not able to say it was Gina's blood, but it matched Gina's blood type because this was the 80s and they didn't have forensics testing like we do now.
Yeah.
So on June 29th, the Pulaski County Deputy Sheriff William Patton saw Miss Hall's abandoned car under a railroad trestle near the New River from Redford after 4 a.m. June 29th, but didn't stop to investigate.
Also, I don't know if you talk about this later, but once they did investigate the driver's seat was found to be pushed back. Like somebody else had driven in it. Yep. And in the trunk of the car, there were blood stains consistent with Gina's blood and hair strands that were similar to her. So, also a blue towel that was missing from the house, and it was found close to the car, and it was stained with her blood, her blood type.
And I'm sure that's the towel that Robin saw.
That Robin saw him wiping his shoulders. Yep. Fibers also similar to the carpet in the lake house were found both in the trunk and on the blue towel. So again, that's connecting the towel to the lake house.
To the car.
And Robin connects the towel to Stephen. So it's all connecting. And then finally, Gina's clothing also had similar carpet fibers on them, proving that she was at the lake house. A murder weapon was never found, though. I
saw that they found a mattock. I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but it's like a small hammer
Oh, okay.
with blood on it.
I did not see that, but I only investigated for like 3 minutes.
That I found that in the paper. They then called off the search on July 7th. They didn't give a reason why, but they admitted that they believed it was foul play. And when asked if they had a suspect, the police that they were asking said no comment, which means obviously they did. And I found out later, in later articles, that they had been questioning Epperly since day one.
Yeah.
So
he was the last person to be seen with her. I mean, and given his previous, charges, he's probably not a great guy.
Yep. So on September 10th, Epperly was charged with her murder. And during the investigation, here's what I have about this. But it's a little slightly different. So during the investigation, the police found blood in and around the cabin in 20 different places. They also found human hair and carpet fibers on the refrigerator.
On the refrigerator?
Yeah.
On the handle? Where on the...
I don't know.
I could see on the handle because if he had blood on his hands and went to grab a beer because, murdering gets you so parched.
Yeah. Gotta have an after murder snack.
Obviously.
So they also found a blood-stained Mattock, Mattock. So it's like, did you ever hear about the Hinterkaifeck murders?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was
one of my
Mattock.
Favorites.
This is a good one.
Oh, it's so good.
It's so interesting.
So creepy.
Yeah.
Oh, it kind of looks like the ones that I've seen. Kind of look like a ice pick. It says a mattock is a hand tool used for digging, prying, and chopping, similar to a pickaxe.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, the Hinterkaifeck murders are.
That's a good story.
Fucking bizarre.
Yeah.
Go if you don't know about them, go research them because.
Yeah. I'll put a link in the show notes to. It was a episode, I believe it was Generation Y.
Okay.
That did a really good episode on the Hinterkaifeck, and it got me really fascinated.
And I think, and that's why We Drank probably did one too. I mean, how do you have a true crime show and not do it? It's
a pretty big story.
It's so creepy to me. It's just because it's never been solved. It's just fucking creepy.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I mean, I solved it, but
they didn't ask.
I know who did it.
Rude.
Rude. I read that her clothing was found near the river.
Yeah.
Close to where her car was found.
And I believe there was blood stains on her clothing as well.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
The trial began December 8th, 1980. And one of the things that came up in the trial is that this friend, Bill King, testified that Stephen never denied killing her.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently when his friend asked him if he killed her, Epperly said, "I don't know anything about it. We'll just have to wait and see."
Right.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
December 17th, he was convicted, and the defense lawyer was a piece of shit.
I'm angry now. I'm angry. I just read it.
Because
fucking victim blaming.
Defense attorney Glenwood Lookabill.
Fuck you, Glenwood. You dumbass. What kind of name is Glenwood? Nerdy name. I'm sorry if we have any Glenwoods who listen, but this guy's giving you a really bad rap.
Yeah. He said Miss Hall was unstable because she had changed schools twice in 1 year and had planned another change. He also questioned her decision to go out alone, saying, "I don't understand it." Fuck you.
I hate him.
People should be able to go out on their own.
No, not people, Amy.
Oh, yes.
No, men can go out on their own all day long.
Right.
They could walk around naked and not be
Yeah, for sure.
I'm so angry.
Yeah. When they were still doing the search, the family had hired a psychic to come out and try and help. But all the stuff he told them it didn't end up being true. So, whatever.
So, So, how many times am I going to say that? Yeah, so. Oh, sure. Coffee and bars. So, this actually, in 2016, a farmer's grandson reported to the Radford Police Department that his family had had a secret since 1980. What happened in
1980? Why does that ring a bell?
He said his grandfather had witnessed what he believed to be two men dismembering a body in Meadow Creek. And they believed that woman to be Gina Hall. When this came forward Delana kind of revamped the search for her sister again. They had found Gina's DNA on top of Draper Mountain at a lake house on Claytor Lake. They found part of one of Gina's bones at Epperle's former hunting grounds. And her sister says some of the locations were on their radar in 2016, but not all of them. So with that, it sounds like they dismembered her and probably hid her body parts in other locations. But they have found, that's why earlier I said her full remains haven't been recovered because they found part of it.
Does that mean that Bill was involved too? If there were two men that were cutting her body up?
But they said that grandson said his grandfather saw two men.
Yeah.
So if his grandfather is Bill, that means Bill saw him with somebody else.
Oh.
Saw Stephen and somebody else cutting up the body.
I don't think that grandson was a King or grandfather. I don't think his last name was King.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
But I'm just wondering if that means that Bill
involved.
was an accessory or he helped, dismember the body.
Bill. Yeah, I don't know. If it was, you would think that, I don't think, Stephen Epperle doesn't strike me as the type to be really loyal and go down for somebody. So
right.
if Bill was involved, you would think he would have ratted him out.
Maybe.
But in 2020, Gina's sister, Delana, worked to introduce Senate Bill 5103, which has become known as Gina's Bill.
Oh.
So what this means, and I don't know if it's passed or not, I didn't look, but it would set standards for Virginia's parole board that convicted murderers would not be eligible for parole without disclosing where their victims' bodies are located.
Ah.
Because Stephen keeps applying for parole.
Yeah, he keeps thinking he didn't do it, so.
Yeah. Or an example of another manipulation of the press by Epperle came when he insisted to the reporters after his convictions and during his appeals that if he could just be allowed to take a polygraph, everyone would know he was telling the truth. However, he had actually been given a polygraph July 2nd, 1980, just days after her murder, and failed.
He wants to do another one later because he figured out how to game it.
How to game it.
He knows all you have to do is squish up your butt cheeks or whatever it is.
Yeah. Yep. So they brought in a dog. It was a searching dog, and it was I think his name was started with an H. And they gave him part of Epperle's clothing at the police station, and the dog sniffed Epperle out in one of the interrogation rooms. And Epperle said, quote, "That's a damn good dog." I don't know why they brought the dog in and why they gave it Epperle's scent. But yeah, he was able to find him in the police station in the interrogation.
I wonder if they then took the dog to a location to see if Epperle had been there.
Yeah, I mean, one would think there was more to that anecdote than just, here, he found you, good dog.
Good dog.
I did get a picture of Stephen at his trial and also Stephen in 2019 at his latest parole hearing.
Yeah.
Where he was denied.
Right.
And he should be denied.
Yeah.
Forever.
Yep.
Never come back. Nope. Piece of shit. So that's the murder of Gina Hall. Evil Lives Here did an episode. There's a book coming out, or maybe it's already out, about her case. I mean, there's been a lot of coverage on this case. Okay. I would assume because it's the first one in Virginia to result in a conviction without a body.
That's a big deal.
That's a big thing. Yep. Especially in the 80s.
Yeah.
Now I could see it, a conviction without a body. They've got DNA.
Well, because you have all the DNA and everything.
Yeah. All the blood evidence, But in the 80s, especially 1980, that's basically the 70s.
Yeah.
Which is basically this turn of the century. Did they even have running water then? We don't know.
I was alive. I can concur that there was running water.
Was there? Just teasing. So yeah, you guys, this was a really, really great episode. It wasn't your standard run of the mill house.
Someone's at a house
episode. Yeah. It was really good. I really enjoyed it, and I just felt bad for Amy because you could tell she was struggling.
Yeah, poor Amy.
So, that's all I've got.
All right, that's all I've got.
Hey, listeners. My name is Kayla, and I'm the creator and host of a new podcast called Dark Tales from the Road. We cover true crime, spooky, creepy, and ghostly stories, and I want to take you state by state and country by country to bring you stories you may not have even heard of before, and also learn some history on the city and the state where it takes place. So join me on the road as we discover dark tales. New episodes are posted every Wednesday. I have an Instagram, Facebook, and a Patreon, all at Dark Tales from the Road. Thank you so much, and I hope everyone has a great day.
Greg's making dinner. He's not making stir fry.
Damn it.
He's making steak, and he is trying to perfect his French fry foo. So
How does he do his French fries?
He boils them first.
Mm. Does he boil the potatoes whole?
No.
Or does he cut them into French fries?
He cuts them.
Okay.
Then he boils them.
Yep.
Lets them cool.
Sure.
Then he fries them in the wok, partially. Lets them cool. And then I think he's going to put them in the air fryer for the last fry.
Okay.
And the last time he did it, they were really, really good. But they were cut really small. And so they cooked really hard, and they ended up being kind of hollow inside, you know? They were more like shoestring.
Oh,
you know what I
sure.
mean? Like
Yep,
from a can.
Yep.
So they were good, but they weren't like French fries. So
yeah.
he's trying again.
We went to Five Guys last night only for their fries because their fries are bomb diggity.
Really? Which one do you go to?
There's one in Shoreview, right off of Lexington.
Okay.
Like 694 in Lexington that we go to.
Because there's a Five Guys out by my old house in Uptown, and their fries are terrible.
Really? Oh my God.
They're like uncooked. They're floppy. They're not crispy. They're greasy. They put them in the bag, and it's like the grease has grown up like 6 inches by the time you get home. It's so gross. Now they're nasty.
Wow, that's insane. Because, yeah, these were phenomenal.
Yeah, the burgers are good, but the fries are terrible.
Oh, the burgers? See, their burgers are Like, we went there
funny.
for the fries only, and then we went next door to Chipotle and we got that for the food.
Oh,
Because we're extra that way.
that's funny. That's funny because I do not like their fries. Anyway, maybe that's just the one in Uptown that's shit. It wouldn't surprise me.
Because, they've always been good. Yeah, I honestly was not impressed with their burgers. I mean, they're fine, but they're not like...
They're expensive.
They didn't...
Oh, no,
yeah,
I'm thinking of Smash Burger. Smash Burger are the ones that are really expensive.
Yeah.
But
they're good.
I do like the burgers at Five Guys. I was thinking of when I said they were expensive.
They're fine, but they're not like... I wouldn't, rush home for them. Or whatever I'm trying to say.
My favorite fast food burgers are Culver's.
McDonald's for me.
Ugh, it's not even beef.
That's fine. You didn't say my favorite beef burger. You didn't say it had to be real food.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
So really, it's on you. Thanks, everybody, for listening.
Thank you. We will be back again next week.
Back again with another story. It's Amy's turn to present.
Yes. And I am doing, I wrote it down. I found this one on the Dead Files discussion group on Facebook.
Okay.
Because it was a homeowner that was on the show. And so I was thinking that maybe I could reach out to him and see if he wanted to be a guest.
Shut the front door.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's season 14, episode 9.
Oh,
so it's a newish
new
one.
Yeah, reach out to him.
So I'll see if
You could even sweeten the deal and say I'll give him $5.
$5. That's
$5 whole dollars.
Wow.
I know.
I'll add that to the kitty and see.
That'll
Push it right over.
Probably. He'll be like, $5 whole dollars. I'll be like, yeah, what's your Venmo?
So that's what we're doing next week, as long as I get my shit together, because this week is going to be a doozy. This is moving week.
And everybody, I'm going to be, like I said, I'm with the listeners. I do literally the bare minimum. So I'm not going to watch the episode, you guys. We'll take this part together.
All right.
So I'm excited if we can get him on.
Yeah.
I will fall off my chair.
That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, it would be fun. Yeah. Get the ins and the outs. I wonder what I'm sure they have a non-compete though agreement that they had to, or non-disclosure.
They probably can't say too much.
Yeah. But whatever they can say, we'll pick it up.
Yep.
All right. Thanks everybody. We'll see you then.
Yep. Thanks everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Activity Continues podcast. We really appreciate you giving us your ears for a bit. Please reach out if you have a suggestion for which episode of the Dead Files we should cover next, or if you have a spooky story you'd like us to share on the show. We can be reached at theactivitycontinues@gmail.com or through our website or any of our socials. Links are all in the description of the show. Please feel free to drop us a note and say hi. And join us next time when the activity continues. The Activity Continues is produced by me, Amy, at Collected Sounds Media and is part of the independent Collected Sounds podcast network. We are also proud members of the Boo Pod network of super cool podcasts.
Nailed it.